So maybe a week ago or so, I decided that a theme that I was seeing a lot with clients was this idea um, of feeling powerless and feeling numb amongst some of the stuff that's been going on recently in the self-isolation period. And I'm also hearing a lot about scarcity and fear with a lot of my clients. So I had this idea that I was going to do this video on um, some of the guideposts in Brené Brown's book, The Gifts of Imperfection. And initially, it felt like it was a good idea, and then I stopped kind of hearing things from people in regards to this. So I stuck with the previous video that you saw where I talked about emotions. Since then, I feel like the theme has come back again. So I thought I would do an updated little piece to go with the footage that I did a couple weeks ago, because I think it's still relevant. But basically, Brené Brown talks about the concept of powerlessness, and when we feel that way, we tend to move towards numbing, and that um, there are antidotes to being able to deal with that. Same with scarcity. With all the things that have been going on, we have this feeling like um, we want to really kind of try to get everything that we need, and we think that abundance is the answer to that, and it really is not. And so if you continue to follow today's lesson video, you'll be able to find out a little bit more about this concept. There were two other things that I just wanted to address really quick. And this is two different concepts that have been brought up by Brené Brown. She is a researcher and a professor. And one of the things that one of her books that she wrote is called The Gifts of Imperfection. And in this book, she talks about guideposts to wholehearted living. And one of her guideposts talks about powerlessness and numbing. And I think that based on the things that we're going through right now, there's a sense that when we are feeling powerless, the easiest thing to do is to numb out. And I think that's what a lot of us want to do. We want to just sleep all day or drink or pig out on things or binge watch Netflix and try to escape from everything that's happening by numbing. And this will work for a little while. I'll give you that. It might work for a couple of weeks or something like that, but in the long term, it's not going to work. And so really and truly, the people that do the best in situations like this are ones that can take that feeling of powerlessness and transform the way they look at it. And it's what we call a growth mindset, is realizing that you can actually get something or learn something from the situation that we're going through right now, and you can learn something about yourself. So the sooner you can kind of get your head around that idea and realize that there are things you've been through in your life that have been really hard, and you've learned things from those, what you want to do is take those things that have happened in the past and try to bring them forward into your present and use them in a new way to try and create something that is much more tangible and useful for you to use at this point. That concept of taking things from your past and bringing them forward is what we refer to as resilience. So there's lots of things that you would have, experiences that you've had in your past that you can take bits and pieces from them and bring them forward into your life. Now, if you do that, what will happen is you will start to learn how to cope more easily with the stressors that are coming forward right now. And the big thing about numbing is that if you're numbing, you can't feel any of the good things. So it's not like when we numb ourselves off to emotion, we might numb out all the bad feelings, but then we don't get to feel any of the good. And so that's really a problem, because we really want to be able to experience the best parts of life. And that's why it's so important for us to be able to come up with a new way of coping. So I'm going to refer back again to the routines video that I did a little while ago. This video will help you to kind of get back into some sense of normalcy for the time being, so that you can start figuring out how to create a new normal for yourself in this environment that we're in. Okay, so the last concept by Brené Brown is, she talks about this concept around scarcity and fear of the dark. And especially when COVID first started and we were isolating, we saw a lot of people being very, very scared of not having enough supplies. So people were going out to stores and pulling things off the shelves and really diving into a bunch of different things. Now that things are dying down a little bit, we're seeing that, maybe there's scarcity, but maybe it's not as intense as we originally thought it was, which is good. But I think that, there's still a feeling of scarcity around things like losing money. We're watching people who've had investments, we're watching those things dwindle. People who were working are not working now, and they're not making the money that they normally make. And then there's also, the feeling around scarcity is usually linked a lot with loss. And there's a sense that, we also kind of refer to it as foreboding joy. It's the idea that, like, you have things that you really care about, and there's a sense that you could lose them in some sort of way. Or you have control in some way now, but what if you lose that now that things are so good in that way? So when we talk about scarcity, what we're really talking about is a fear of loss and a fear of losing things. And so we all kind of have this idea that if I pay attention to it and I'm aware of the fact that I'm going to lose this thing, that maybe it won't happen for me. But that's not really the truth. The truth is that what you do then is you never actually end up enjoying the things that you do have because you're so worried that you're going to lose them. And so what Brené brings to the table is to say, it's not about paying attention to what you could lose. It's about really having gratitude for the fact that you have the things that you have, and really being present and soaking up as much time as you possibly can with the things that you love. So whether that's family or friends or a cat or a dog, or being thankful for the fact that you have the financial stability that you do, or whatever your situation is, very little things actually end up making the most amount of difference in terms of turning around the way you feel and making you feel more joy. So when you feel yourself wanting to be scared that you're going to lose something, really think about what it is that makes you thankful for the things that you do have. Try to find the things that you are thankful for. And I swear to you, some days are going to feel like maybe the only thing I'm thankful for is that I have a roof over my head and I have running water, or that I have clothes on my back, or I have food to eat. And some days you won't have those things maybe, but there are going to be the smallest little things that maybe it's an act of kindness from somebody in your life. It really depends on your situation, but that's where we need to focus in order to feel more joy. And the more we focus on those things, the bigger and better that they get.
So, thanks for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. And I would look forward to hearing from you. You can shoot me an email at video@sarahghorsford.com, or you can find more information about me at my website, www.sarahghorsford.com. Please feel free to subscribe if you like the content that you're seeing. I really want to try and put out more mental health related stuff, even if it's not about COVID. But unless I hear comments from you, I don't really know what you want to hear about. I'm just kind of going off of what I hear from my clients. So please feel free to reach out, and please take care of yourself and each other.